But if you dress like a whore, guess what men gonna think about you? You a hoe. That's what they gonna think. Regardless if you are or not, they gonna think that. So you may say in your mind, well, I'm not a hoe, I know I ain't a hoe. But guess what the man that's gonna be trying to talk to you think? You a whore. So guess how this whole mindset of trying to get what you gonna be about? Sex. It ain't gonna be about, I wanna make you a wife. It ain't gonna be about, I wanna make you a wife that we can live together and make kids and all. They ain't gonna be thinking about that. Because they saw you as a what? A whore. So guess what their mentality is to treat you like? A whore. And a lot of people in this society think that brothers just treat whores like a pimp do, slap them upside the head and do it. No. They try to speak smooth and kind words to you to make you let your guard down so they can get what they want out of you. Let me ask you, where you learn that from? Because I heard that before. Because there'd be a lot of conscious black people, they'd be like, all the black people, they ain't get to take us on those ships, we was already over here in this land. A lot of black people, conscious black people say that. Well, if I was to show you that these people right here, give me Hosea, what is that? Speckled bird, no, 7 and 8, like a cake unturned. I'm gonna show you something. Because you see these people right here, who's known as the Hispanics. A lot of times when we think of Hispanics, we think of white people or lighter skinned people. But did you know it's Mexicans that's blacker than you?
Bring it out.
You know it's Native Americans that's black just like you? That look just like me? You know it's Puerto Ricans that's black just like you and me, right? So when they say black people is in this land, those are our people. That's why this sign right here we got is very important. It's the sign of the 12 tribes of Israel, who today are known as black people, Hispanic people, and Native American people.
Bring it out.
But today we got these names like African American, West Indian, Haitian, Puerto Rican, Cuban, because we went into what? Slavery, like you said. They taught us about slavery, and when they taught us slavery, they taught us the names that they called us as when we was in slavery. So they taught us about the African American in slavery. They taught us about the Puerto Rican in slavery. But the Bible said that we would be the 12 tribes of Israel, and we as a race were going to slavery together. But when we went into slavery, you know what happened? What normally happens when you go into slavery and they strip all your history from you? You forget what? Your past. You forget who you are, right? Now watch this, read that.
The book of Hosea, chapter 7 and verse 8. Ephraim.
So Ephraim, right here, you see the sign, right? You say Ephraim, right? So this tribe, Ephraim, Puerto Ricans, on down, these tribes who today we know them as Hispanics, right? Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, so on and so forth. Ephraim, read.
Ephraim, he have mixed himself among the people.
When you examine the so-called Hispanics, where do they normally be at? They be mixed among all the other races of people, specifically white people. They love white people. They love to be associated with them. So much so that it's a lot of Hispanic women, fathers and mothers telling them, you better not date no nigga. You gonna mess up the bloodline. You gonna make us be unpure if we get dark skin. They the white boy. But guess what? Those are our brothers. Those are our people. We went into slavery together. So God said this tribe, the Hispanic people, will be what?
Ephraim is a cake not turned.
The Hispanic people, when you examine their skin color, they like a cake not turned. You ever cooked pancakes before? One side of the pancake that you got that's on the skillet at the bottom part, what color is that? It's burnt, right? But the other side is not what? It's light, right? When you look at Hispanics, it's some that's super light skin, light bright Hispanics that look white, and then you got your super dark skinned Hispanics that's black. God already said that his people would be like that, in color to like that. So with a lot of our people that's so-called conscious that talk about, hey, it was black people already over in this land. Duh, the Hispanics was black. Our people are black people.
Bring it up.
That's what we don't know. Now I'm going back to Deuteronomy 28 now. I know it's a little cold. So now you see these signs, right, about slavery. Do you know why this happened to us? Do you know why we were conquered and enslaved? I'm going to show you in the Bible. Because you would consider yourself to be an African American, right? So that term, African American, where does that come from? Do you know? No, a lot of us don't know. A lot of our people don't have a clue the titles and names that we have today.
Right.
Afro-American, black, nigga, bad bitty, We don't know what none of these things mean. We just saying stuff at this point. We just making up names to call ourselves at this point because we have no identity. But God documented in the Bible this history before it happened, that we will lose our history and heritage. I'll read.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 68.
15.
Verse 15. We're going to start from the beginning, the source. Read.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
So this is Moses speaking to who? He's speaking to the Israelites. Go to the next chapter, Deuteronomy 29, verse 1. Because I want you to understand what we're reading right here. This Bible was written to the 12 tribes of Israel, the real Jews. That's who this Bible was given to.
Right.
That's who you are. And we're going to prove it out the Bible. Read this.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 29 and verse 1. These are the words of the covenant which the Lord commanded Moses to make with the children of Israel.
So who did Moses make this Bible with? Who did it say? Read it again.
The children of Israel.
Who was Moses speaking to? The children of Israel, right? So now go back to Deuteronomy 28. So now when Moses was saying to these same children of Israel, since I want you to pay attention, when he was saying to these same children of Israel, watch what he told them will happen in the future. Read.
To observe to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So God told us, if we did not obey him in his laws and his rules, like the law that he just brought out earlier about marriage is honorable, not to have sex before marriage, make sure that you have a husband first before you indulge into sex, we didn't obey that as a race of people. So God said, because we didn't obey that, he will put what upon us? Curses. Now, what is some of the curses that come with sleeping around from man to man and man sleeping around from woman to woman? Deuteronomy 28, verse 61. This is one of the curses that God put in the Bible. You want to know who the black people are today? We're going to see by the curses of God. We're going to read the curse that God will put on the majority or a lot of black people to identify them today. Read this.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 61.
Verse 59. Start from there.
Verse 59. Then the Lord will make thy plagues wonderful.
So God said he will make the plagues of the Israelites, who is the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans today, wonderful. Meaning what? It'll be new plagues you ain't even ever heard of. Watch this, read.
And the plagues of thy seed, even great plagues.
Read.
And of long continuance, and sore sicknesses.
Is herpes wrong? Is that something you can get away with, get rid of like tomorrow? If you get herpes? That's one of them things when you hear you got herpes, you just go in your closet and you just cry for some hours. Because you know you screwed. The rest of your life is over.
That's right.
Because now what? You've been hit with a disease. How did that disease come about? HIV. How did that come about? Through sexual intercourse. That was not permitted of God. Because you know how you can avoid that? If you prove the partner that you're going to be with before you have sex with them. If you go and get to know that person before you have sex with them. If you go get their medical records before you have sex with them. Most people that's going out is preparing to marry that person. You don't just go and give your body to anybody. You know there's Negroes out here that's hurt. Meaning what? Somebody done caught them and got them a disease, so they going around trying to spread it to whoever they can, right? You know there's people out there like that, right? Okay, now watch this.
Also, every sickness and plague, which is not written in the book of this law, them will the Lord bring upon thee, until thou be destroyed.
So now, when you read the Bible, have you ever heard of HIV in the Bible? Have you ever heard of crabs being in the Bible? Have you ever heard of STDs being in the Bible? These are things that we've never heard of, but now they coming about. There's sicknesses on earth that ain't no cure for. You can't get rid of that. And it all comes from what? Sex. That's why it's important that we follow what the Bible tells us to do.
Right.
Because when we don't follow God, we fall into these different traps. And now we're in front of the abortion clinic talking about I need a plan B, talking about I need to commit this murder. You know what abortions is, right? You know if you go and buy a plan B from Walgreens, that's abortion, right? I'm just asking because a lot of people think you got to go and wait till the baby grow and then murder and slip the baby up to it to be considered abortion. No, when you have sex and you plan to go to Walgreens and get that $50 Plan B pill, you are a murderer. You just committed abortion according to the Bible. And guess what the judgment for that is? Death. because you just killed the soul. So guess what? You got to be required for that. You can't kill souls and then God ain't going to cause you or make you reliable for that death. You have to pay for that death that you did. That's why you see a lot of our people in our neighborhoods, in our societies, are dropping dead like flies because they've been breaking God's laws. And He paying them back for that. We forgot that the Lord God of this Bible is a God of vengeance. He pay you back for the sins that you do. If you think you about to sin and get away with it and think that God ain't going to deal with you, no, that's not how it works. Romans 6:23. In the Bible, God say wages for sin is what? Do you know? What is the wages for sinning? Like if you got a job, you get wages, right? You get a payment for doing that. Whether it's $16 an hour, $18 an hour, $30 an hour, $40 an hour. What is the wages for playing with God and sinning against Him? We need to know these things. What is it? Let's read it out the Bible.
The book of Romans, chapter 6 and verse 23. For the wages of sin is death.
What is the payment, sis, for sin? Death. You want to die? You want to go to the lake of fire? You want to be judged by the Lord? So you got to come back to do His commandments. Even the way that you dress is a commandment. Did you know that? What did you know about that? Come on,
like wool or linen or something like that.
Okay, that's one of them deep laws where you can't mix the fabrics and all that type of stuff. Yes, that is true. But I'm talking about just your appearance wise. What is a woman supposed to be wearing? Right. Are you wearing that? Why not? Huh? It's cold. Okay, what about leggings? They don't underdress a skirt. You know, when we was in slavery, it was cold too. But our foremothers were still rocking that dress, were still rocking that skirt. They weren't saying it's cold. It's cold, you know. Right. It's cool. You know, we've been on the earth for thousands of years. Our foremothers and foreparents, they ain't never wore pants till the 50s, 60s, and 70s. So you don't think they was cold? They survived. So if you cold, you can survive. But we got to come back to doing how the Bible said. Now watch what God said, read.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 22, and verse 5. The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man.
So right there, God is addressing who? Who is He addressing in the Bible? He's addressing a woman. He said the woman shall not do what?
Wear which pertaineth unto a man.
Wearing, right? What belongs to a man. What are the clothing that belong to me that you ain't supposed to be wearing? What do I got on that you got on right now? Pants, right? So according to the Bible, God did not give pants to women to wear.
Bring it on.
God gave pants to man to wear. Because that is the apparel of a man. When I put on my apparel, I wear the pants in my house. I run my house. I rule my house. You ain't supposed to be jumping up and getting right next to me putting the pants on too. What the hell? That's crazy. It's two men in the house. That's homosexuality. That's against God's laws. That's not supposed to be. You're supposed to be modest with a dress on, right, being feminine, right, like a woman supposed to be. Because believe it or not, the type of clothes that you wear put a certain spirit on you. Just like if a man right now, you see him walking around with a dress, you'll automatically assume he was gay. Without a doubt, right? I didn't have to tell you that. You already knew in your mind. That's a faggot right there. That's homosexuality right there. That's a gay man right there. So wait a minute. Why when the roles reversed in this society, our women don't think that they manly? Our women don't think that they masculine. Our women don't think that the term they used to say, you a butch. Our women don't think that. You know why? Because society has programmed our black sisters to think it's okay to be toe-to-toe with a man and box.
What is the nation?
Nation is men leading by example.